Welcome back to another episode of Alphabet Soup. I guess I should start the episode off addressing the fact that it takes me forever to make an episode, and I have really no excuses other than I don't know. I don't have the time, I want to say, but I do have the time. I just don't use it for this. Pretty much, what it is, the way my schedule works most of the time is I work a job Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., 9 to 5 job with those hours, 9 to 5. And then during the weeknights, I pretty much Monday through Thursday go to open mics, except for Tuesday sometimes. Tuesday's a wash up. It could or couldn't be. But I do open mics through the normal week, and then Friday and Saturday, sometimes I'll have improv as well, where I'll do shows at an improv theater instead of stand-up. And sometimes on weekends I have stand-up shows. So a lot of the time, my only time off is Saturday during the day up until like 6, 7 o'clock, and then all of Sunday. And the issue that I've found with that sort of schedule is that Monday through Friday, I don't have time to record. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time with all the open mics and going to bed and eating and being an adult. I don't have time Monday through Friday to record it. So it leaves me the weekend. And by the time that I get to the weekend, I've started to experience that adult thing where you're just exhausted and you don't want to do a fucking thing at all. You don't want to make your life better. You don't want to talk. You don't want to listen. You just want to, like, if I could spend 48 hours in a sensory deprivation tank where I'm just nothing, I think that would be the best weekend. And I can't believe that I'm to that point because I'm just lazy. Like, I know that's all it is. I know I should just, like, it's not like this is a hard thing to do. It's not like doing a podcast is particularly grueling. It's just me. I do everything myself for it, but it's just me talking for 30 minutes to an hour, typically. And I've gotten to a point where now I don't want to do anything on the weekends. And it makes me sad because I really want to record these episodes and I want to release it and I want to do it regularly, at least once a week. I need to record multiple ones, but I'm fucking stuck to the ceiling right now, so that's not gonna fucking happen. And I just can't believe that I'm starting to say dumbass adult shit like that, where it's just like, and I just want to relax. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. When am I gonna go to bed? I'm so tired. I need to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Shit's always gotten on my fucking nerves when adults would talk about shit like that. Especially the going to bed early, because that's not the fucking point of being an adult. You made it to 18 to stay up till 2 a.m. and have to get up at 6. It sucks, but like, you didn't get to do that as you're a fucking adult. You're not 4, you're not 8. You could stay up. You could stay up till fucking 10 o'clock, get home by 11:30 and get enough sleep to wake up and do your fucking job. And but adults constantly. Every time I go out with anyone over the age of like 27, it gets to 10:30 at night, and I'm up past my bedtime. Oh, guys, look at me. I'm special. I'm different. I go to bed at a reasonable hour. I've matured. Can't we all revel in? Isn't this relatable, guys? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Stay up late. You're a fucking loser. And I'm to that point now. I'm becoming that adult. Like, slowly but surely, I'm slipping into that, and I fucking hate it because it's fucking annoying. I do not like it, and it's gotten me to a point where I don't record these episodes, and then I'm super upset about it because I want to actually put effort into this now. That's the strange thing about doing this podcast. Is when I started it, I was starting it because it felt like I had out of necessity. I needed to start it out of necessity, just to be able to play the game, the comedy game. And even in the like 3 or 4 episodes I did record, I fucking like it. I like doing it. I like it. I like what I started. I think I finally found some footing for it. There's a lot of alliteration in that. I like doing this. I think if you wanted to put a formula to just ranting, I think for me, what the episodes are, is I start out with something stupid, usually having to do with like media, something in the media, TV show, music, videos on the internet, video games, something I saw, something I watched, something I played, and that usually gets me, and I use that to make a giant overarching long rant and argument about society, at least in America, sometimes the world. And I use the stupidest thing to get like a good 25, 26 to, 50 minutes out of a subject. I use a stupid thing like Modern Warfare 2, and I get an entire rant, a 30-minute rant about art, and then at the end of that, I bring up the fact that I made an entire 30-minute rant because of Modern Warfare 2, because of something stupid. I think that's what it's become slowly but surely. Which is, I mean, it's pretty, that's how my brain works. It's accurate. If somebody told me that I had a podcast, this is what I'd expect it to be. And I like doing it. I enjoy that. I enjoy ranting. I enjoy the fact that nobody else is here to say something. Don't fucking interrupt me. I hate it. I hate conversations sometimes. Obviously, I love conversations and I love talking to people and I love getting to know people and humans, or, be in the moment, be present. I do enjoy that, but sometimes, you've got some stimuli that's making the pistons in your brain fire, and you want to just keep going on a subject, but other people think they're having a conversation with you, and you're like, no, shut up, you're just a sounding board. Please just stand there and hear me rant. But they think they're having a conversation with you, so they interrupt you, and you have to listen. Fucking, ugh. That's why I like doing this, because there is no one, like, I can make a long-winded, terrible argument, make it somehow, at least to me, work, because I have a long format to do this, and nobody can tell me I'm wrong. So, I like it. I enjoy doing it. I think it's fun. I think it's something that's actually entertaining, and I want to keep doing it. So forgive me for not posting. All 4 people that listen. I'm going to try. I'm going to do better. I'm going to force myself to do it. That's just some housekeeping stuff to start it off. I think today, what's really been on my mind recently has been Eminem. It's something that I have struggled with. The musical artist, not the candy, Marshall Mathers, Eminem. It's something I've struggled with, like admitting that I like, but I do enjoy Eminem and the music he has made. I've had a few conversations with people recently, one person in particular that just really, really likes Eminem and still likes Eminem and what Eminem's doing now. And Eminem was my mom was not a child. She was like end of high school, into college when Eminem really started popping off. So she was a kid. She was around the same age as him. So she was his target demographic. Good lord, target demographic when he started really hitting the scene and releasing all his music in the Marshall Mathers LP. She was the same age as him, so she listened to it a lot, and I feel like it's it's a big part of her early adulthood, like one of those things in media that can signify your a part of your life, like when you listen to it back or you watch a movie and you remember what that part of your life felt like and how it summed it up perfectly. Like music's really good at that specifically. I feel like Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP is definitely a part of that for her. So when I was teenage-ish, little preteen, right around then, my mother introduced me to Eminem. My mother introduced me to a lot of fucking rap music. For being a Midwestern white woman, a Midwestern fat white woman, she fucking loves some classic rap. She introduced me to Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dre, that whole side. This bitch running around listening to fucking Big Daddy Kane, Big Pun. It's crazy. But it's a good thing too, because now it's another genre of music that I can listen to and I have a connection to and I like it. So she introduces me to it when I was in my preteens and all the classic Eminem stuff, and I had heard about Eminem and heard some stuff before, but never listened to an album or cared, only heard the radio edits and that everybody was pissed at him and blaming him for Columbine and everything. That was my image of Eminem at like 12. And then we started listening to it and my mom was like, you're old enough to listen to somebody talk about women and not be a fucking crazy incel. So she allows me to listen to the music. And I have, I liked it, especially as a kid. I like the classic Eminem. And it seemed that at the time, sure, everybody loved Eminem. Eminem was an icon. He was the dude. He was the voice of his generation. He was that guy. He took a genre of music that's been, underprivileged, and he made it white enough that the media would pay him for it instead of black people. And he started saying everything you weren't supposed to say at the time, especially for the 90s, and all the kids, all the young adults and preteens and teenagers, they all connected to it because they're like, I talk like that, and this guy's doing it so publicly, and everybody's loving him for it. It's okay now. It's okay to make jokes about suicide and say you're gonna rape your own mother. This guy doesn't give a fuck. He's crazy. He doesn't care about anything. I love this guy. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to make my life. And he's talking about doing drugs and he's okay. He's okay making gay jokes about himself, and he says bad words. And ooh, I like it. I relate. For its time, it hit. I feel like it hit it right on the nose. Like it hit the nail on the head for what it needed to be in the time that it was. Eminem made perfect music. That's why it was so wildly successful. It tapped into that market that the rest of the entertainment industry hadn't figured out yet. And he became super successful. And that stuff is even still good. Hell, I've gone back and listened to an album, in 2020 that was released in like 99, and he's had songs that I relate to this day. It's nuts. But it's been like 30 years since that was perfect music. It's been about 30 years since it was the perfect music. And now, while Eminem is still successful, I feel like he's caught this Batman Dark Knight illness where he was the hero long enough to see himself become the villain type thing. It's a disease that seems to afflict any sort of entertainment, especially when it's popular. Television shows, musical artists, whatever it is, they all seem to suffer from being too successful for too long, and contrarianism finally takes its toll on an intellectual property and it makes it not cool anymore. Like Friends is another example that works in this situation. Another thing that was super successful in the 90s went into the early 2000s. I think it ended in 2004. Wildly successful show. They were the first actors to like make over $1 million an episode for a sitcom. They broke records. Everybody loved it. It was dope. It was awesome. And it stayed culturally relevant for the next 30 years, like Eminem. And now it's like you're fucking dumb and stupid and gay if you like Friends. Same thing with Eminem. It's not as good as you think it was. Type of mentality. Stop talking about it. It's been too successful for too long and it's not good. You thought it was good, but you've just been lied to by everybody else that liked it, and they've tricked you into liking it by making it culturally relevant. You know, contrarianism. It doesn't matter if it's actually true or not. It's annoying because there are things like Friends, which maybe it's not the best sitcom in the world. Maybe Malcolm in the Middle is better since it kind of, started the one camera thing, and it was while it was still a ridiculous sitcom, it had this different cinematic feel to it that brought you in closer and it made you care more, and it was sets instead of the 3-camera system. Maybe that's the best one. Or maybe the best one's one of the originals because it was so experimental and new. Or maybe it was Sanford and Sons. Or maybe it was The Jeffersons. Maybe it's an old black sitcom that was the best. Maybe it's not Friends. The thing is I don't think Friends is bad. I don't think Eminem is bad. I don't think it's bad art. I don't think it's bad TV shows. I don't think Eminem makes bad music. I think it's just popular. And when something's popular for long enough, it seems that it needs to die. And I think this is a thing we've all kind of experienced or known about at least before, because the people that are usually the best in their respective genre or art or whatever usually die early. Some of them live to be very long and are still held in the regard of master or amazing. But we have like a 27 club. And most of the people in the 27 club, or at least the one they talk about, are usually people that are still held in a ridiculously high regard because they can't ruin their career with time. They're dead. Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix. All music artists that people still love. Never heard fucking trash shit about really any of those artists. I think Nirvana caught a little bit of it, where it was not cool to like Nirvana anymore because everybody liked it. But that's kind of done too, because Nirvana, I think, is making more money now than even when they were popular off of merchandise and Batman, thanks to the internet. But I've never heard someone say that Jimi Hendrix was overrated, or Amy Winehouse for that matter, because they can't. They're done. They're actually dead, and with that, so is the art that they chose to make. So is their careers. So they aren't typically. They don't fall into the category of too popular for too long and end up being a loserish thing to like. And I don't know where that mentality comes from exactly. I know that I have a bit of contrarian in me, and I honestly don't like it. I know that in my mind, when like a lot of people tell me about a TV show, it makes me not want to watch it. Like Squid Games. I never watched Squid Games. Everybody was so fucking, oh my God, it's the best show ever, you gotta watch. And everybody jumped on the train and they wanted to watch it. And it made me not want to watch it. I think a little part of it was, I know when things get hyped up like this, they always disappoint. Like even though everyone is telling you that this thing is amazing, you're like, you're hyping it up too much. I'm going to be very disappointed when I watch it. You know, so a little bit of it is that, and a little bit of it is I just don't care enough. Like I don't want to. I don't know. I just don't. And it's not like I want to be the guy that was like, no, I haven't watched that, because that's even more annoying. Well, the response to it is even more annoying. Whenever you tell someone that you haven't seen a specific movie that's popular, like it took me like 20 years to watch Alien. I don't think I watched Alien until I was 20. And then, but throughout high school and into the very early years of adulthood, people, you've never seen Alien? What? What do you fucking do with your time? What are you doing? You've never. How do you sleep at night knowing you've never seen Alien? Shut up. Shut up. Jesus Christ. It's just I'll get there. I understand something might be worth a watch and I should watch it. I just haven't. I don't know. Aliens don't interest me as much as the fucking Civil War. Maybe that particular movie didn't speak to me in the trailers like it did everyone else. Or my parents didn't care, so they never exposed me. So for several reasons. But that shit is, oh my God. So I definitely don't want to be the person that hasn't seen Squid Games and have somebody look, oh my, you haven't. I hate that. I hate that more than anything. I'm guilty of it too. I've done it before, but it is something I actively work on to not do when somebody says they haven't seen a movie or a television show that I really love. I try my best to go, it's worth a watch, and I leave the conversation there. I don't I don't do that. I just go, if you got the time, if it's something, it's worth a watch, I think you should watch it. Just leave it at that. You just leave it there and you drop it and everybody's happy. That shit, that fucking, you've never, so annoying. It's very annoying when something's niche too. That's another, what the fuck is, something like Star Wars, obviously such a cultural phenomenon that when somebody hasn't seen that, it's surprising. But when it's something like, the like Alfred Hitchcock's first movie is, you've never seen that. It's kind of niche. It's not the best movie. He may use that when he learned a lot of things and made better movies that became way more popular. This is a niche thing. Of course, you've never seen The Thin Man? Yeah, it's from 1939. I've never seen The Thin Man. It's a niche thing. It's 2022. It's almost been 100 years since the movie came out. I didn't watch it. You shouldn't freak out about that. Star Wars is a little more understandable. Cryptic, secretive, Criterion Collection specific foreign films is not a thing anyone should ever. You haven't seen. You're stupid. With that mentality of popularity and the need to die it's just something so odd about the way that we behave with things that are popular. Because it can't just be popular and that's it. It has to be popular for the right reasons. It can't just be popular. If it doesn't say what we want it to say as individuals, we will group together with other people that share the same idea as us and tell the entire world that this shouldn't be that you're stupid for liking this thing. Here's why. It shouldn't be popular. It can't just be. Nothing can just be popular. You have to, every song of Eminem sounds the same, or every episode is formulaic of this specific show. Or, that author, he always used a lot of the same vocabulary and words in his books, and there's not a lot of variety. It's bad for this reason. You shouldn't like it. You shouldn't like it. Oh, what's that? When no one else was affecting your view of a specific thing and you just experienced on your own and it created emotions that you enjoyed feeling and you had some connection to it. Fuck you. Fuck that. Fuck that experience that you had. You're dumb. You're stupid. I'm going to make you feel bad for having emotions connected to something that you couldn't control. Fuck you. Fuck that. Fuck the experience. You're stupid. You're going to have to feel bad because I don't like that this thing is popular. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. There are things that I'm like, this is dumb. I don't know why anybody likes it. And it's still on the air and it's still awesome. Cool. Great for those fans. We're all guilty of that. But for some reason, shit it can't just be. It never could just be. You couldn't just have Eminem's music. Eminem had to be the voice of a generation. He had to keep writing songs that were saying what young people felt so that they would buy the records, and that he would cause controversies, and then he would talk shit about the controversies, or he'd talk shit on other celebrities, and it made him seem like this normal, average guy. Well, even better, he was super poor and lived in a trailer in 8 Mile in Detroit, and he just used this raw talent and hard work that he had, and he made a successful career, and he was an everyman. He's blue collar. He's a white American. And he's relatable, and everybody can look at that and go, awesome. And people are saying he's the greatest of all time because of the way that he could rap, which I think is fine too. I think he is really good. I think he makes great music. Thing is, it stuck. That stuck. And people started saying he wasn't as good as he once was because he was older. And he thought he was going to quit the rap game because he just wanted to be a family man. And all this stuff happens, late 2000s into the 10s. We get this different Eminem that no longer has the new sheen. He's not wrapped in plastic anymore. We have an Eminem that is now making similar music, but he doesn't have the young, we're fighting back image. Like, when you listen to an old Eminem song, like Without Me, and he's like, the FCC won't let me be. I'm sure when the song came out, it was like, fuck yeah, he's fighting back. He's bringing it up. But then eventually the FCC gave in, and Eminem went from underdog to being the top of the heap. And what nobody explains, what no sports movie has ever explained about being an underdog that becomes successful, is that success sucks cock after that. It's shit. That you finally, you go from underdog to the hero, and it's awesome for that moment, and then the rest of it is never living up to when you were an underdog becoming a hero. It just plateaus, it flatlines. And Eminem, they finally, like, the lawsuits stop rolling in. They're not trying to take him off of MTV anymore, and he's just stuck with, like, emotions and just an expectation to be an artist. So he loses that new sheen of fighting back and being the voice of a generation, and now he just has to make music. And it was still fine music, and he was still a fantastic rapper with an amazing ability. And it went on for a few years, and it was successful then, and everybody still loved Eminem, and he would still do the things like make fun of a celebrity, and he would still talk shit on other rappers, or just make music that we could all be like, oh yeah, I feel that. But it wasn't the same, and that's fine. But because we're all like, something has to be popular for a reason, we couldn't just enjoy that Eminem had success. What we enjoy is that Eminem was fighting back, that they were trying to suppress his art, and like a true artist, he rose to the top. That's what we enjoyed the most about Eminem. It's not the fucking lyrics. It's not his rapping ability. It's not the music that they made. It's not the beats from Dre. It's not the subject material. It's not the drugs. It's not the party. What we loved most was that he acted like a true artist. He fit the mold of fight back, rise to the top, and then that's it. That's what it is. That's it. And then it flatlines. Most of the time, that's just You're done. You did it. You accomplished a goal. There was a point A and a point B. We can all understand that. You got to point B. We don't care anymore. But he stuck around. He was too popular. He stuck around. He's too big to fail. Everybody loved him. And he's still around. And he makes music now. And that's the new music that he has made, which I rarely listen to, because every time I hear it, what happens is I get this feeling that he is just trying to prove he is still the greatest. I think we all get that. Because he is the top of the heap. There is no FCC trying to stop him. He's a money-making juggernaut. No one would ever... There is no MTV anymore. There's YouTube. Anybody could post it and become successful. Not really anymore, but you don't have to worry about the FCC stopping the music from being made. He lives in a different time. Now, everything that he talked about, giving it back to the people, we kind of accomplished post-Web 2.0 with things like YouTube. And it's just, well, what do you do now? Well, you make music about how you're still the greatest rapper, and instead of keeping what made like the old music fun, you just try to rap as many long 6-syllable words in succession as fast as possible, and people will be like, he's still amazing. And he is good at that. He's very good at that style of rapping, and he's an incredible lyricist, and he writes a lot. But if you listen to something like a new song, like what was the one with Juice WRLD, Godzilla or some shit, and then you go back and you listen to Fack, which is on his greatest hits, bruh. Fact, there's nothing in Fact that's like, oh my god, I can't believe he just spit the fastest verse of all time. I can't believe he just used those 2 big words and rhymed them together. This guy's a genius. There's none of that in Fact. It's just immature fun that fit that time period very well. That 90s, the time when Jackass was on TV, the time when kids were like, yeah, we're people too. We want your freedom. And we want to listen to Korn. Like, that immature, let's talk about the things our parents don't want to hear mentality. He fucking nailed that perfectly. And that's what made that fun to listen to. And now it just feels like instead of David taking down the Goliath is asking everyone on the street why they don't like him anymore. It's because we just can't let things be popular. It has to be popular for a reason. And Eminem's career needs to fucking die for it to stay good. It's like an impossible choice. Continue to do the thing you love or leave it at its peak so that you could never be viewed as bad. That's off. What a terrible thing you have to make a decision for should you find success in a creative endeavor. Fuck. But his career needs to die. It has to. Otherwise, we get tired of it. And we go, I don't like this toy anymore. Cast it aside and give me something new. It's always got to be new and innovative for innovation's sake. Can't just be happy. I'm a fucking American and the antidepressants have stopped working. New, please. More. Fuck this thing we've had for 30 years. Make him earn it. Yeah, let's go crazy. I don't understand why you can't just like something and we just go, okay, you like the thing, cool. Everything has to have a fucking purpose. Talked about that before. I do not understand it. It's this weird thing with art, this weird thing we've attached to art, that it has to, like, change the world. But the shit, Starry Night doesn't change the world. Like, the greatest artist of all time that we're all like, oh, they're still great artists. Like Van Gogh, the guy that cuts his ear off and fucking sends it to a bitch because she won't give him no pussy or whatever. That guy. Starry Night doesn't do shit for us. It doesn't change the world at all. It's pretty. It's pretty. And I understand the techniques and things and this did makes it different. But it's not fucking, it's not a crafted story that subverts classic tropes and makes you think in this different way. You just look at it, you go, wow, that's super interesting, and it's appealing to my eyes, and I just like it. I just like it. And it's still getting traded to museums for a bunch of people to see, and it's super expensive. They have to touch it up every year, and it's a fucking artifact that showcases a point in time, which is what the fucking point of art is. It's not changing the world. It's capturing how you feel in the time that you are living in and presenting it. It's a presentation. It's showing people something. It's giving them a show. It's giving them art to look at. It's giving them something to listen to. It's just presenting how you feel as the artist about whatever situation or time you're in, and you put it in front of people. The best art, the most perfect art in the world, would never have an artist's name on it. They would never hear a single criticism or compliment for that art. No one would be able to talk while looking at the art. Like if it was a gallery that you could go to, it would be free to get in. You couldn't say a fucking word while you were in there. You would never know who made this art. And that artist would never know how anyone ever felt about it. That would make for perfect art. If there was absolutely no outside influence. But that'll never happen. That'll never happen. And it shouldn't, because people that take all this time to really get good at making art should be allowed to make money off of that art. I believe it. But in a perfect world, art, I'm not saying it shouldn't be criticized, but I don't think the artist should hear it, because it just affects, like, making art. You start going, well, people didn't like this last time. Even if you don't think it works its way in there, and you start making decisions based on art that other people have liked, or art that, or based on the things that people didn't like about your last piece, instead of just creating, which is the point of it's just to create and present a thing. Captures how you feel in the time that you are making it. That's the point. Whether it's a painting, whether it's music, whether it's stand-up, whether it's a book, whatever the fuck it is, that's the point. Unless you just go, I just made it to make it. And then it's like, well, you have no story behind this piece. That's not the fucking point. The point is not the story. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about the story? It's the classic argument of, can you separate the man from his art? Well, you ask that when, you find out that somebody that makes something you enjoy is a piece of shit. You go, can you separate the man from his art? Well, if you can do it for a piece of shit, you have to do it for the good people too. Who gives a fuck if this art's, like, who gives a shit if this movie's gonna do well because the person in it is the nicest person ever? Like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, incredibly nice guy, tons from, everything that we've ever heard, stories about Keanu Reeves, great person. Does that mean John Wick's good? No. If you can separate the man from his art for a piece of shit, then you should do it for the people that are good people. Just because they're a good person doesn't mean they make good art. They might. But you should be able to go, I just fucking painted this because I wanted to paint it. I didn't paint it so that when you look at it, you think about the society and the you just make it to make it. But we have this weird connection. We have a weird, odd connection to this stupid fucking idea of what art should be. And then you have somebody that finds super success and they stay successful for 30 years. And then everybody goes, stop listening to this because they're annoyed by it. They don't want to hear it anymore because it's not cool, because you have to have something new, because it's not uh, an underdog story anymore. You're like, well, this has no importance. Why don't you just like art that's important? Why do you have to like art that isn't important anymore? Why aren't you saying something with the art that you like? Why aren't you presenting a different image of the entire world? Why are you stupid? I don't like this thing. You're stupid. Which is just how all of society seems to be built. Can't just like a fucking picture. Can't just like it for liking it. And we're not happier for it. We're not happier people for thinking this way. It's the culture surrounding art is a culture of just chasing a dragon. It's, how does this thing make me feel? I want that feeling constantly. But the only way that you have feelings similar to that feeling is first time experiences. It's not, well, the first time I played Grand Theft Auto 4, it gave me this sensation in my stomach of an empty world with a lonely man fighting for revenge, and I want that again and again and again. So I'm going to keep playing the game. But that's not what you enjoy. You don't enjoy the actual feeling. You enjoy just having the sensation. Just like you just enjoy Eminem being an underdog and succeeding. You just enjoy the sensation of that specific feeling. And if you want to be happy like that again, you just have to have first time experiences, and you'll have different emotions connected to those first time experiences, but you'll enjoy experiencing them just the same. So you should just keep trying new stuff out, regardless of whatever the fuck anybody says about something. I never listened to this band, but everybody seems to hate it. Like Nickelback. Fucking, you know what? Point of this episode, go listen to Nickelback. Try to say something positive about it. Think a positive thought about Nickelback. That's what anybody that listens to this should do right after I end it. So you should fucking go listen to Nickelback and try to genuinely try to enjoy it. Take a look at it and listen to it and go, what do I like about it? Do I like this bass line? Do I like the time signature? If you understand a lot of stuff, I like this chord. Just enjoy it somehow. See what it does for you. See if you're happier for it. Instead of just being, it's just poppy shit. It's just poppy. It's pop music. It's pop rock. Great. But does that mean we should have created a whole culture around art that's just do more, different, better? It's not good unless it means something. I don't know. I do know that Eminem's career needs to die for him to ever be successful again. Pretty sure if he's ever able to be successful again, it's just too big now. And yeah. Listen to Nickelback, guys. That's what you should. You should listen to Nickelback and try to enjoy it. And find one song that you enjoy. And leave a comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Yeah. This is another episode about art, really. Just kind of feels, I don't know, I think about it a lot. And I wanted to use Eminem to talk about it. Because I don't think Eminem's bad. But there's no point to listen to Eminem anymore. So if you like Eminem, you're a fucking idiot. You're stupid. How dare you like something because you like it? Chad Kroger's fine. All right, I'm going to end the podcast. Thank you for listening. I'll try to have one in a week, another episode in a week, where I get fucking blasted and I make a rant. This one went for about 45. I took about 10 minutes in the beginning to do some house cleaning stuff and talk about the podcast. So really, it's like another 30-minute episode. But if you listen to this, thank you so much. Rate, share, subscribe. You know what the fucking, just do, you know how the internet works. Bye.